What's going on, guys? Joel Robinson here. Tonight we're doing a Labor Day fireworks show in the field behind me. So the show tonight is going to be a small pyro musical, about 2.5 minutes long, and the best thing about it is the show was designed entirely with leftover product from last year. So since we could not do the 4th of July display this year, since I was in Vietnam, we actually wanted to do something for Labor Day and do something more, like an actual pyro musical. So we went through and got all of our leftover product, did an inventory count on it, and actually designed the show strictly with leftover stuff. And we're also testing out a few new fun things as well. So it should be kind of a fun show, but on this really small side. Again, about 2.5 minutes long, and I will show you guys the setup as we go. Okay, so we're going to start labeling and matching all of our single shots. So we have all of our labels here. You'll see we have a bunch of red comet tails, a decent amount of silverfish mines, and a couple other random things like yellow flames, white strobes. So the mines, for example, have the E-match port directly on the bottom here, so they're going to be really easy to match. However, the red comets, these are old comets, and they actually have the fuse, so we're actually going to have to match directly into that comet, and then a lot of the other effects such as white strobes have the port right there on the top, so we can match it quite easily. So I'm going to go ahead and start doing that, and I'll check in with you guys in a bit. Okay, so I'm on the last silverfish mine, so I'm going to show you how I'm doing this. So you see this cap down here on the bottom, you just pull that off. Then we're going to take our initiator, just kind of unravel it, just insert the head with the shroud on down into this hole, and there's like a little lock. If you just turn the wire a little bit, you'll see it's kind of locked into place. And everyone kind of does this slightly different. I like to clove hitch it. So basically do a loop around and kind of pull it tight, and then there's a little spot for the fuse to come out. And then I like to put a little piece of tape for strain relief on the outside. Some people actually tape over the bottom there. It's purely preference, and so this guy is now matched, ready to go, and of course he just needs a label on it, and then we'll put it on to our racks and he'll be ready to fire. Okay, so all the single shots are matched. You'll see our mines here. Got a few strobes there. We're actually short on strobes, so we're using 3. These are all comets, so all of our comets, all of our mines, strobes. We have a few flames here, and we just started moving on to some of the cakes. You'll see, like, for example, these guys actually have E-match ports, which is fantastic, and the ones that don't, we're labeling right now, and we're going to go through and match those here in a second. So we're moving right along. After we match everything, we're going to start building our single shot racks, which is probably the next part you guys will see. Okay, so you'll see these rockets here, except they're not actually rockets. They're called Tomahawk Rocket, but it's actually a fountain by Keystone Fireworks. Pick these up in a Safe and Sane tent, and it's got about a 30-second burn time. Fairly nice little fountain. The problem with most fountains is they're too long to put in some of these small shows like this, but these ones with the 30-second burn time, we're actually going to put 10 of them kind of on the ground in our finale segment. So I'm going to go ahead and prepare these fountains here, and then when we're ready to put them in the ground, we're actually just going to insert them, the stick into the ground, have them, hanging up 2 feet or so out of the ground. So yeah, should be kind of a cool effect in our finale. Okay, so now we're moving on to some more fun items. So a lot of people over the last couple of years have been complaining that I haven't been using that many shells. So I'm going to use a few shells. Nothing crazy. You'll see this is a 20-shot slightly fanned rack. I also have 2 4-shot V racks, the same ones I used last year. So what I'm going to plan on doing is I have kind of a mixture of shells here, just some small ball shells. Okay, and then I also have some canister shells, and these might be something a little fun that people will enjoy. So my thought is I'm going to start with the ball shells here. Probably go all the way through 16, or basically as many as I have. I think it's about 16. The last 4 are going to be some of these canister shells, and then the other canister shells are going to go into the 4-shot racks. They'll just be kind of split on each side. So I'm going to start dropping these, and then I actually have a roll of quick match over here I might use to make this go super fast. But I will update you guys when I'm doing that. Okay, so we're going to have both rows match individually, but we're going to put these into series into the module, and each row will fire at the same time. I've already foiled and taped it down. The whole point of the foil, because this is always asked every time you see foil in fireworks, the whole point of that is so that this doesn't prematurely light. Since this is part of the finale, we definitely do not want this to fire earlier in the show because fallout landing on the match. So we'll actually even probably put a little more foil right in here just to extra protect that, or even some tape or something. So that one is done. We still got to do the 2 4-shot V-racks over here. all salutes in those guys, and we'll be spreading those out somewhere in the back of the chute site, just so they all go at the finale along with this rack here. Now this one has color, ball shells, whatnot, and then the last like 4 hits are salutes, and then moving over there, all salutes. So, yep, got to finish those 2 racks, and then we're going to start building our single shot positions, and before you know it, we should be done. Alright, since we've already finished matching everything, now we're going to go through and I'm going to separate everything by position, and I'm going to start building our single shot racks. These are the same racks I used last year, so it's just that particle board, and then we'll be using zip ties to secure all of the single shots. This is a case of comets. These are all my mines here. Those will be on the racks, and then I have a few flames and like 3 strobes. Those will all be just on stakes. And then of course I got a protractor here for my angles. Nothing's too crazy. I think the most extreme angle is at 40 degrees, and that's only because the way the trees are, I don't want to go too low. So when I'm doing this specific shoot site, the position on the far right actually shoots the most extreme angle to the left, and then on the far left the most extreme angle is to the right. I don't shoot out, mainly because you'll see a building way over there and the trees there, so we shoot inward rather than outward. So it kind of limits some of the angles and effects you can do, but we still do pretty fun things with what we got. Also right now he's starting to drop all of the cakes out into their positions, just basically get them out of the way. You'll see there's a shell rack right there. So he's going to put all the cakes on their positions and then come back and help me with the single shots, and then we'll go through and wire everything. It's about 3 o'clock now, so we still have plenty of time. My bad, it's 4 o'clock now, shoot time's about 8:30. So for how small a show it is, we're in perfect shape. Alright, so for example, these are all my single shot items for position 1. So I have them organized by angle, so you'll see right 40, right 45, 45, 45, right 80. All my mines are straight up, and then left 45, left 45. So earlier when I said I don't have anything shooting to the left on position 1 or position 5, I was incorrect. I actually have 2 going left 45, but it's not too extreme where it's just going to go pretty much like right up like that, and then 1 shot on that side going up like that. So basically, when looking at my protractor here, you'll see 0 degrees, so if we go left 45, it's going to go here, right 45 would go to there. So when I'm measuring my angles before I zip tie, basically this is what I'd be looking at. So right 40 or left 45 would be right here, to give you an idea of angle. So yeah, I'm going to start zip tying. Okay, here are all the front positions, starting at the front 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So again, small show, but all of these are now matched and zip tied to the board, so we're going to go ahead and drop them out in the field. Start plugging everything into modules, and we'll be done before we know it. Yep. With the echo, it's so I'm starting to wire up some of the cakes. Now the biggest problem I have is we only had 1 meter or 3 feet long initiators, so we're really limited to how far apart we can space these cakes, which when trying to set up a show really kind of sucks. What I mean by that is the module here is in the middle, and you'll see everything is pretty dense. I still have to wire up some shell racks, which is part of the finale. Another cake there, so you'll see they're basically going to be pretty much on top of each other. Cakes to the front, cakes to the back, and some on the sides, and that's about it. There's only a few cakes at each of the side positions, so it's not nearly as big of a deal. But for a dense position, like I think I'm only using 8 cues here, maybe, or 9 cues. So I'm not even using the full 18. So you can imagine having 18 fireworks here with 1 meter, leads. So just if you guys are planning in the future, I'd recommend getting at least 3 meters. It's a little more expensive, however, you're going to save yourself some headache when it comes to show setup. You'll see, for example, this one here, that's actually a 7 foot. So just the extra flexibility I've been able to, if I wanted to, I can move that forward an extra 3 feet and just have more space here. So I definitely recommend a little bit longer igniters if you guys can afford it. Pretty much finished all the wiring, so I'm going to do a quick little walkthrough. The only thing we really have to do is stake these small cakes just as a safety precaution, and then do all of our final checks. So this is the back left position. You'll see we have 1 500 gram cake and just 3 small little 200 gram cakes. AF1 by Brothers. This is one of the Willows. Liberty Bell is Trillium with something or another, and then Blue Peony. So let's go on to the next position and I'll show you what we got. And notice you'll recognize some of these items from last year's stash because again this is all just leftover product that we didn't use for whatever reason. So here we have a super sweep. To be honest with you, I'm not even sure what it is. Red strobe mine with silver comet. We got some red and blue peonies, the same silver trillions. These are some noise, some shells, and also noise. Those are all part of the finale. Fantastic, unstoppable, and Wrath, all by Firehawk. Some more noise over here. Let's go to the final position. Actually, this position just mirrors the other one, so there's really no reason to go over there. So again, not a whole lot here. So remember, this is all just leftover product. That's why the show is only 2 minutes long, because I didn't want to try to make any crazy long show because we didn't have the product to support it. So if we come up here, you kind of see what we got going on. I'm going to basically show you the first position as the other positions kind of complement the first one. So we have, these are some actually consumer fountains that we picked up at a Safe and Sane tent. They look like rockets, but they're actually fountains. So that's what this one here is and that one there. So there's 2 in parallel each position, but there's 10 across total. So it's going to make a little nice fountain waterfall looking effect. That's actually part of our finale. We have a flame pot 1 second, flame pot 15 seconds, like a 20-second strobe, 1 mine, and all comets. And then all the other positions have a few extra mines, but mostly just a few mines and comets per position. So again, not a whole lot, but enough that it's going to put on a really fun 2-minute show. So we're going to do our final checks and probably come back to you right before showtime. Alright, everything checked out. Everything is currently armed. We have 2 remotes. We're going to fire at the exact same time. And here shortly we're going to start the show. You can start to see a little bit of light out there in the field. That's our modules just showing that they're armed and about ready to go.